Over the last 7 years, I've built 2 six-figure Shopify stores, and I've helped countless Shopify store owners take their businesses to the next level. And in today's video, I'm going to reveal 3 critical mistakes that you probably don't even know that you're making that's keeping you from reaching your first 100 sales. But here's the thing, you have to fix all 3 mistakes, because if you don't fix even just one, your Shopify store is going to struggle to make sales forever. Now, this first mistake is so common that almost every Shopify store owner makes it, and they don't even realize it. To explain, let me share this story with you. In 2012, my boy Eric Banholz noticed a problem. Beards were seen as unprofessional, which personally for me, I disagree, but I'm a little biased here. Eric, being very upset by this, launched a beard brand to help men maintain and grow their beards with pride. But the journey wasn't easy. Eric's sales were virtually non-existent, and Eric's efforts to fix his website and his product photos didn't really help one bit. Thankfully, he had a breakthrough. Instead of focusing on traditional ads, he really leaned into content marketing. By building a community, Beard Brand was able to turn into a multi-million-dollar leader in the men's grooming space. Which leads me to the first mistake that you are probably making. A lot of new Shopify store owners think that if I build it, they will come. And honestly, this couldn't be further from the truth. Assuming that a great website and great product photos is enough to attract their ideal customers. However, if you don't have a targeted strategy to connect with your potential buyers, you're always going to struggle to drive enough traffic or even have interest in your store in the first place. So when you first launch your Shopify store, you need to heavily focus on content marketing. You can do things like creating valuable YouTube videos, blog posts, and social media posts that are all tailored to building a strong community. This will help you build trust, educate your audience, and foster a loyal following. And all of this will ultimately help you drive the sales that you're looking for. But the issue is, if your Shopify store is still making this suck-it mistake, your potential customers will still run for the hills and not buy from you. Don't worry though, the founders of Warby Parker also had this issue too. 4 business school students founded Warby Parker to offer stylish and affordable eyewear, frustrated by the high prices set by a dominant eyewear company. In 2010, selling glasses online was unheard of. And with no name recognition or physical stores, they really struggled to gain trust. After months and months of stress and anxiety, they finally leaned into what made them different: affordability, convenience, and a customer-first approach. They launched one of the first home try-on programs where they allowed their customers to test 5 frames totally for free before they bought. Plus, their buy a pair, give a pair model really appealed to socially conscious shoppers. Because of this, sales skyrocketed, and virtually overnight, Warby Parker became known as the Netflix of eyewear. You see, the second mistake that you're making is your failure to define and communicate your UVP, or better known as your unique value proposition. This is the one thing that sets your brand apart from your competition. And I really want to give you some tough love here. If you don't know what makes your business special, how do you think your customers will? Without a clear reason to choose you, your potential customers will 100% go to your competitors who are doing a better job at showcasing their value. So you really want to spend time figuring out what makes you unique. So is it your pricing? Is it your brand story? Is it your exceptional customer service? Whatever it is, you want to lean into it, define it, and own it. But unfortunately, just knowing your unique value proposition isn't enough. You have to broadcast it clearly and consistently. Your Shopify store has to immediately communicate what makes you different, whether that's in your homepage banner, your product descriptions, or even in your customer reviews. And the same goes for all other touch points like your social media and email marketing. Every single time a customer interacts with your brand, they should immediately know what makes you special. You have to remember that today's consumer is completely overwhelmed with choices. Don't be just another face in the crowd. You have to show them why your brand deserves their attention. Now, this next mistake is something that you definitely have to overcome, because if you leave it unaddressed, your sales will always be stuck in place. Just like Airbnb was back in 2008 when it was a small, struggling startup trying to gain traction in the very, very highly competitive travel and hospitality industry. With giants like Expedia, Booking.com, and just traditional hotels dominating the space, the idea of staying at a stranger's home just felt very weird and strange to a lot of people back then. So to survive and compete, Airbnb really had to solve one massive problem. People really feared poor accommodations, untrustworthy hosts, and just not getting that polished experience that you really get from traditional hotels. Now, Airbnb wasn't done. They knew they couldn't compete with established players offering predictable and standardized services. So what did Airbnb do to overcome this? They went all in on building real human connections with their customers. Airbnb went all in on sharing real-life stories of happy hosts and happy guests. And these stories were often shared in their marketing campaigns, blog posts, and on their social media. For instance, Airbnb shared a story of a host able to pay off their mortgage just by renting out a small room in their home. And that story really resonated with hosts. While guests really loved the stories of all the unique places that you can stay through Airbnb, like tree houses and castles. The result, by 2011, Airbnb was able to hit over 1 million bookings, and now Airbnb is a household name and is doing over 1 billion bookings a year. So if you haven't realized it already, the third mistake that you're making with your Shopify store is not leveraging enough social proof. Social proof is literally your Shopify store's secret weapon. It can literally turn window shoppers into buyers by showing real people in love with your product. Every single person that makes a purchase from your Shopify store, you really want to encourage them to leave a review and tag you on social media. Even just one review is better than none. You can also automate this entire process and get reviews on autopilot by using a software like Judge Me Reviews. Whether it's glowing reviews, customer photos, or recent purchase pop-ups, all of this builds trust and just adds a level of credibility. Which brings me to the next major problem that your Shopify store has. And truthfully, if you do not solve this, nothing that I shared in this video will fix it. So click this video right here to figure out what this problem is and how to solve it.